For over a decade, Sam Heughan and Caitríona Balfe have been at the heart of one of television's most beloved love stories. As Jamie and Claire Fraser on Outlander, their on-screen chemistry created a romance so convincing, many fans blurred the line between fiction and reality. Shippers passionately believed that the magic they saw on screen was more than acting, that perhaps Sam and Caitríona were destined for each other beyond the cameras. But when Sam Heughan shocked the world by confirming his engagement to Brynn Whitfield, the narrative shifted overnight. The fandom that had once been united in its devotion split into factions, some embracing the news with joy, others devastated that their dream pairing would never come true. And in the midst of this storm, Caitríona Balfe did something no one expected. She spoke out, not with bitterness or distance, but with grace, empathy, and a blessing that stunned both fans and media alike. The moment came during an interview promoting her own projects. A journalist, clearly fishing for headlines, asked Caitríona the question that had been on everyone's mind: "How do you feel about Sam's engagement to Brynn Whitfield?" For a heartbeat, the room fell silent. The question carried weight, and everyone anticipated either a carefully deflected answer or a diplomatic smile. Instead, Caitríona leaned in, her voice soft but steady. "I just want Sam to be happy," she said. "He has been such a huge part of my life for more than 10 years. If Brynn makes him happy, then I'm happy for them. Truly." Those words, so simple and heartfelt, detonated across the fandom like a thunderclap. The woman who had, in many fans' eyes, been the only rightful partner for Sam Heughan had just offered her blessing to another. Social media lit up instantly. Screenshots of her quote spread across Twitter and Instagram, accompanied by captions like, "Queen behavior," and "This is real love, friendship love." Some fans were deeply moved. "Caitríona is showing us what true grace looks like," one user posted. "She's proving that the bond between her and Sam is unbreakable, even if it's not romantic." Another wrote, "If Claire Fraser can bless Jamie's real-life love, then maybe it's time we all let go of our fantasy and support Sam too." Yet others couldn't help but question her sincerity. Skeptics dismissed the words as public relations spin, claiming Caitríona had no choice but to speak kindly to avoid fueling more drama. "She's an actress," one fan snapped on Facebook. "Of course she's going to say the right thing." Some went further, speculating about hidden feelings, suggesting that the blessing was bittersweet, a quiet acknowledgement of a love story that could never be. But regardless of interpretation, the emotional power of Caitríona's statement was undeniable. For years, she and Sam had carried the weight of fan expectations, fielding endless questions about their relationship both on and off set. They had weathered gossip, tabloid rumors, and invasive scrutiny, always maintaining that their bond was built on friendship and professional respect. In that moment, Caitríona's blessing wasn't just about Sam and Brynn. It was about drawing a line under the speculation, affirming that her loyalty to Sam transcends fandom fantasies. The timing of her words also added to the poignancy. With Outlander preparing for its final season, fans were already bracing themselves for the end of Jamie and Claire's legendary love story. Caitríona's blessing for Sam's real-life romance felt like a symbolic bridge between fiction and reality. An acknowledgement that while Jamie and Claire would remain immortal on screen, Sam and Caitríona were moving forward in their own lives. Even media outlets, often quick to stir up drama, reported her comments with admiration. Headlines read, "Caitríona Balfe sends emotional message to Sam Heughan and fiancé Brynn Whitfield," and "Claire blesses Jamie's real-life love." Commentators praised her maturity, calling her words a masterclass in grace under pressure. For Sam and Brynn, the blessing was more than just a kind gesture, it was a shield. By publicly supporting their relationship, Caitríona helped neutralize some of the backlash aimed at Brynn, easing the transition for fans who had struggled to accept the match. "If Caitríona's okay with it," one fan tweeted, "then maybe we should be too." As the quote continued to ripple across platforms, one truth became clear: Caitríona Balfe had rewritten the narrative. She was no longer just the woman fans wished Sam would end up with. She was the friend who stood by him, the colleague who had shared his most defining decade, and the person who, with one heartfelt statement, transformed what could have been a scandal into a story of loyalty, respect, and emotional generosity. And for fans caught between heartbreak and celebration, Caitríona's words offered something unexpected: permission to move on, to let go of fantasy, and to embrace the reality that Sam Heughan had found happiness, blessed not only by his fiancée, but by the woman who had shared his greatest on-screen love story. The ripples of Caitríona Balfe's blessing did not fade quietly. They erupted into a storm of conversation that shook both the Outlander fandom and the wider entertainment press. What seemed, on the surface, to be a simple message of support turned into one of the most dissected celebrity statements of the year. Almost immediately after her words were published, the internet fractured. Shippers who had held onto the dream of Sam and Caitríona together were gutted. For them, the blessing felt like a closing door, a final stamp on the truth they had resisted for so long. "This is the end of the fairy tale," one fan wrote in a Facebook group. "If Caitríona says it's over, then it's really over." Others expressed a sense of betrayal. "She didn't even fight for him. Just gave him away with a smile." But while one corner of the fandom mourned, another celebrated. Supporters hailed Caitríona's words as the most genuine and graceful act she could have offered. On Twitter, phrases like "true queen" and "friendship goals" trended for hours. Fans shared clips from interviews where Caitríona and Sam had spoken about their mutual respect, pairing them with her blessing as proof of an enduring bond. "This is what love looks like," one fan posted. "Not romance, but loyalty." Media outlets capitalized on the divide. Tabloids leaned into the drama with headlines such as "Claire bows out," "Balfe hands Heughan to Whitfield," and "From screen love to real-life blessing." But was it bittersweet? Talk shows debated whether Caitríona's statement was purely professional diplomacy or a genuine act of emotional generosity. One panelist argued, "She didn't have to say anything. By speaking, she put a stop to speculation and gave Sam space to move forward." Another countered, "It was too polished, too perfect. It sounded rehearsed." For Brynn Whitfield, Caitríona's blessing was both a shield and a spotlight. The reality star had endured months of criticism from skeptical fans, many of whom saw her as an outsider unworthy of Sam. Suddenly, she had the symbolic approval of the one woman fans thought could never let go. Some of the vitriol aimed at Brynn softened, with commenters admitting, "If Caitríona supports her, maybe we should ease up." Still, others doubled down, insisting the blessing changed nothing. "It's PR smoke and mirrors," a critic tweeted. "Brynn will never be Claire." Sam himself stayed quiet in the immediate aftermath, but sources close to him hinted that he was touched by Caitríona's words. For a man known for guarding his private life, having his most trusted co-star publicly support his relationship was invaluable. It meant the world to him, an insider claimed. "Sam and Caitríona have been through everything together. Her blessing wasn't just for Brynn, it was for him, too." The blessing also reshaped the narrative around Outlander's legacy. With the final season looming, fans began to reinterpret the decade-long journey of Jamie and Claire not as a prophecy of real-life romance but as a once-in-a-generation partnership between two actors who gave everything to their roles. "We can finally separate fact from fiction," one columnist wrote. "Caitríona reminded us that what they created on screen was art, and off-screen they chose their own lives." And yet, the emotional undercurrents refused to fade. In fan forums, debates raged on. Was Caitríona's voice trembling when she spoke? Did her smile carry sadness? Was the blessing a sign of closure, or was it masking something deeper? Entire threads were devoted to dissecting her tone, her expression, her choice of words. The fascination proved that even as Caitríona tried to redirect the narrative, the myth of her and Sam's bond remained too powerful to silence completely. Still, the larger impact was undeniable. By blessing Sam and Brynn, Caitríona shifted the energy around the upcoming wedding. What could have been a scandal-ridden circus transformed into a story framed by maturity and respect. Instead of headlines about rivalry or jealousy, the dominant theme became unity. Even outlets known for stirring controversy were forced to acknowledge the humanity in her words. As the dust settled, one truth became clear. Caitríona Balfe had given more than a blessing. She had offered closure to a decade of speculation and permission for fans to step into a new chapter alongside Sam. For some, that closure was painful. For others, it was liberating. But either way, it was powerful. In the end, Caitríona's emotional blessing wasn't just about Sam and Brynn. It was about her, too. It was a declaration that she was ready to move forward, to let Jamie and Claire belong to the screen while Sam and Brynn built their lives in reality. And in doing so, she left the fandom with something far more enduring than scandal. A reminder that love takes many forms, and sometimes the strongest one is the courage to let go.